We've returned your editorial team for Common Sense Education. We review and rate all kinds of tools for your classroom. My name's Tanner. I'm here with
And my name's
Chrissy.
Chrissy.
We've got a new one for you that I've never heard of. I've gotten a little preview. I've never heard of this thing. It looks interesting. So Chrissy, take it away. What do we got today?
All right. This is an app, a free app called Royelles. And you can see here that it earned 3 stars, which is a very solid and positive rating. So I want to talk about what excites me about this app, and then some of the things that I think could make it even better. But just to give you kind of a overview, basically what this app is all about um, is trying to get girls and non-binary kids excited about STEAM and feel really positively about themselves. Here's what's cool. I feel it is done in a very creative, inclusive, and non-cheesy way. Sometimes you run into platforms that are trying to get kids to feel good about themselves, etc., and embrace positive messages. Um, and I think this app integrates those messages in a really cool, elevated, and integrated way that makes sense within the narrative of the app. So basically, you can see here some of the art in the screenshots. And you can see that there's representation that isn't always seen in apps in general, but also in STEAM apps in particular. Um, so women of color, we know, are underrepresented in general. But to have an app that is STEAM focused and leadership focused, there are some elements there that include women and girls of color, is pretty unique. And I would love to see more of that. So I wanted to elevate this app partly for that reason. So there's this main character who is walking through a series of choices about what her future might look like. And it will involve leadership, and it will involve travel in space, and some STEAM related challenges. And to get to the actual game elements, kids walk through a series of 12 chapters. And I'm actually going to try something new and show a little bit of this app. So you can see when you first open the app, you choose what your avatar looks like, and then you get a sense of what this main character's space looks like. And you click around a little bit. It's not like open exploration of this character's space, but you have to unlock all 12 chapters. And the chapters themselves are narrated by, checks notes, Crystal Johnson, the Deputy Director of Tech and Investments for NASA. So that in itself got me really excited that there's this woman from NASA who is narrating the chapters all about this protagonist's choices. What's a little difficult is that because kids have to walk through all of the 12 chapters, and those chapters are then interspersed with what looks like a social media chat or a text chat between the main character and the user about sort of self-reflection, like, have you faced difficult choices about this? What kind of a leader do you think you would be? So it integrates that element as well. It goes between the narrated chapters, these chats, and kids sort of progress. And then shots of the living room where you click on the character who sort of walks around that environment. So it alternates between those 3 pieces. After the 12 chapters, then kids progress to a game where you're driving a rover in space and doing some more STEAM-related challenges. So in terms of the mechanics in a classroom environment especially, I think it would take a lot of planning and trying to figure out how to integrate this in a meaningful way. First, focusing on the more reflective and SEL components that the app sort of leads with. I could see, educators maybe using a chapter a day and some of the text chats and having kids kind of reflect and then getting to the STEAM challenges all at the same time. It would be so great if the game mechanics were a little bit different, that might highlight the STEAM a little bit more. It would be great if the mechanics of switching between the 3 different elements at the beginning, it could, if done all in a row, it can feel a little bit like a grind. Even though the story itself and the narration is beautiful, there's even an in-text glossary for some of the vocabulary, which is really cool as well. So it's very thoughtful. It's very inclusive. It's, uniquely representative, and it has super positive messages. So if you can figure out how to use it in a way that works for your classroom, I think it has really great content that could be useful. It's free. So I wanted to kind of put it out there in the world and elevate it since I'm not sure how many people have heard about it. But just be aware that the mechanics, you kind of have to figure out how you can make it work for you.
Does I imagine the review has images of these different experiences because I find I'm having because since it's so unique, I'm having a hard time understanding the different types of experiences so that you create a character, then you watch a series of videos and then interact with the person in the video over social media. And that all then leads to a rover experience.
Yes, that's right. And it is kind of confusing. So here in this screenshot, these are the chapters that you're walking through, and you're able to see this, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, great. And then here is Crystal Johnson narrating one of the chapters. This chat that I showed in the video. Yeah. And here is some of the Steam content once you're actually in the game itself. Phases of the moon. And here is what the rover experience itself looks like once you've completed all the 12 chapters.
Yeah,
I don't
this
know if
is
that helps at all.
that helps a lot. It
Okay.
reminds me in a way of Read to Lead, which we've covered on the show before. An experience that's trying to blend game-based learning with sort of real life experiences where you're in a situation that a real person would be in and interacting in a kind of professional manner and making decisions. There seems to be some relation between those two types of experiences here, but this one definitely has a more fantastical veneer on it, where those were more about kind of practical crisis response and that kind of thing.
Yes. And I'd say this one is also sort of, there's an aspirational, inspirational element to it. Also, a more personal sort of feel to it. that explores this protagonist's sort of inner world and decision making and stuff, whereas Read to Lead is very circumstance based and
Yeah.
situation based, and this is a little bit different.
Mhm.
It's trying to do a lot, so it's
Yeah.
hard, I think, to integrate all those components, but all the components are pretty cool. It's just assembled in a way that can make it difficult, I think.
Making games is hard. That's the
Hard.
it is very hard. So it's very admirable, this effort with such ambitious scope. So if you want to read that review and other reviews like it, like Read to Lead, you can go to commonssense.org/education. Of course, we're back every Tuesday with videos like this. So please like this video, watch more videos, subscribe, do it all. See you next week.